Hi everyone, welcome back on my channel. My name is Willow and today we're talking about the Spring Equinox, also called OSTARA. As usual, we're gonna talk about what it is, we're gonna go through a little bit of historical background, and we're gonna talk about how to celebrate it. In the Northern Hemisphere, it usually happens either on the 20th or the 21st of March, but some people like to have a longer kind of holiday. It's more of a longer period of time, so it can either be between the 19th and the 23rd of March, and in the Southern Hemisphere between the 19th and the 23rd of September. But it's more typically celebrated on the very day, the very first day of spring. That is when the day and the night are of equal length, so same amount of hours. And you know, the Spring Equinox has been celebrated in several different cultures over the passage of time, such as the Romans, the Mayas, and the Germanic people. Now, of course, it is the very first day of spring, so it's a time to celebrate spring itself, but also fertility of the land and of the animals, and I guess humans as well, growth, new life, and balance. As I said, the day and the night are of equal length, so it's the balance of the day and the night, but also of masculine and feminine energies, a time for awakening, and we celebrate the sun that is finally warmer. Things can grow. So the name OSTARA is a little less ancient and is specifically observed more in the Wicca faith, but as I said, the Spring Equinox itself is also celebrated in many cultures. OSTARA is a Germanic anglo-saxon goddess of spring and dawn. She's sometimes also named Östra. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Östra. There's very few written information about her, which sort of started this whole debate whether she actually was a pagan goddess or if she was some kind of invention, of more modern invention. But there are similarities to the Greek goddess of dawn, Eos, even if it's just in the name. OSTARA was traditionally celebrated in April, since the anglo-saxon word for the month of April was Östramonath, which meant April. Her name would be derived from that. She's believed to be connected in some way to the Latin word estrogen, which is the hormone that regulates the feminine reproductive system, so very much linked to fertility, which in this case is very important for the Sabbath. So either the name Östra was derived from estrogen or vice versa, maybe estrogen came from Östra. There's another debate about this, but yeah, there's a lot of terms that you can sort of link to this name. OSTARA is often depicted as a young maiden, so a young woman old enough to have children but not a mother just yet. She's still growing, she's refreshing, full of energy, she loves to dance, she's surrounded by flowers and stuff like that. It's sort of the visual idea of OSTARA, and she is the one celebrated along with spring during the Sabbath. Now obviously, if you don't work with deities and stuff like that, you can just celebrate the Spring Equinox in itself, and it's gonna be pretty much similar to this. But if you're interested in deities, here are some other that can also be celebrated during that time of the year. Some that are kind of known already: Cybele from ancient Rome, there's Freya from the Norse mythology, Osiris from Egypt, Sarasvati, who's a Hindu deity. There's also Persephone from the Greek pantheon. I mean, she represents pretty much the changing of every season, but I mean, spring is a season, right? So, and of course, any other fertility or spring deities that you may know or might feel connected to are great as well. Now, we talked about a balance between the masculine and feminine energy, between day and night. And some other figures that kind of go along with that are the Green Man and Mother Earth. So the Green Man is sort of this entity of nature. He represents the spirit of nature, the ongoing cycle of life. Obviously, again, fertility, and he's said to be reborn in spring and then live until he dies in the winter. So it can also be a figure to celebrate OSTARA and the Spring Equinox. Some symbols of OSTARA are eggs. They represent rebirth and fertility again. The yolk is seen like the sun surrounded by the white of the white goddess, which Ostara is also often depicted wearing a white dress, like a pure white dress. The eggs are also important for that time of the year because during March and April it's actually the time when hens and chickens start laying eggs again, because naturally, if they're not forced to keep laying eggs, they will naturally stop during the winter to allow their bodies to rest, and they will start again during March and April, and it's actually their peak time of laying eggs. So eggs are like a big symbol of spring. Flowers are of course a symbol of spring since they start blooming at that time. We're thinking lilies, lilac, some tulips, daffodils are known spring flowers. In terms of colors, we have pastel blue for the sky, green for the nature and trees and grass, a soft yellow for the sun or for the baby chicks, and pink and lavender for the flowers again. And most importantly, the symbol of the hare or the rabbit is very prominent. For a very, very long time, the hare has been connected to the moon. It's quite a nocturnal animal, so both the moon and the hare were said to die during the day and to be reborn at night. So the hare is connected to the moon, and they're both symbols of immortality. And of course the hare is also a symbol of fertility since they can conceive while pregnant, and it's also an animal connected to the goddess Ostara for many different reasons. Now you might ask yourself, like, are we Ostra? Rabbits and eggs, pastel colors? Well, that sounds very much like the Christian Easter. Well, yeah, it's funny to me that Easter is celebrated the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the spring equinox, and is essentially about rebirth as well. So has Easter evolved from the pagan practices of Ostara? Well, I'm no expert, but in terms of timing during the year, in terms of all those symbols that have nothing to do with Jesus, eggs and rabbits, and if we think about the name that sounds so much alike, Ostra, Easter, Ostra, well, I would say yes. A lot of things point to the fact that it might have evolved from that. And you know, it wouldn't be the first time that Christianity sort of matched their holiday to a pagan one, just so they could assimilate people better, and over generations they would just believe that they were a Christian, you know? If ever, like me, you wondered all your goddamn life why the hell there were rabbits to celebrate Jesus, well, now you know. But the good thing is, it makes it easy to celebrate Ostara now in this day and age because they already sell all of the symbols, so many things that you can get for your altar and stuff like that. So, things you can do during that time of the year if you had plans or projects that you wanted to start, it's a good time to start them. Chances are that your motivation and energy are going to be more heightened because of the sun, because of so many things. It's just a time of energy. You can plant seeds for your herb garden or for your plants as well. Even if it's just inside, you can start seeding them inside to be able to plant them a little later. One thing that I like to do is go on a walk and sort of gaze at nature and try to find signs for the coming spring. If possible, where you live, probably not here since it's so full of snow. You can go flower picking, doing so respectfully, obviously, and then you can press flowers. Just like Easter, you can have an egg hunt. You can also decorate eggs, whether they're real or not, in many different ways, either for decorating the house or just to put on your altar. You can make charms with them and then hang them with a little ribbon anywhere or in a tree. You can write wishes on them. There's so much you can do. Some spells that are effective around this time of the year are spells about fertility, love, hope, personal growth, achieving goals as well. And of course, for me, any good Sabbath or holiday or any great occasion comes with good food. Foods that can be used to celebrate Ostara are green veggies, seeds, eggs, obviously, edible flowers, anything that's fresh, so like fresh juice, lemons and stuff like that. And of course you can always throw a little bread on there. Bread is just so good and it just matches everything. I love bread. And really anything that makes you feel like spring, makes you feel energetic. Any salad, any fruity kind of recipe as well. So that's about it. I feel like I rushed into this video. I don't know. I think I said everything I wanted to say. It might not have been very clear. So if you have any questions, you can just write them in the comments. I'm gonna try to answer them. But I'm not an expert. I'm also learning a lot while doing these. You know, I'm making these and I hope that it's gonna help some new witches and new people. I hope that you found it interesting in the very least. If you did like it, you can always subscribe to my channel. It always makes me so happy. You have no idea. And please like this video, share it with your friends. I'm gonna see you very soon. You can follow me on all of my social medias in the meantime to see what I do. And I will see you next Friday with a whole new video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna take this occasion right here, right now, to wish you a happy OSTARA and a happy spring equinox. Bye!